Hey, what's up you guys? You're watching Team APS, Paul here, and as part of the Summer of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where I'm uploading a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Video every single day, subscribe so you don't miss it, we're going to be talking about the OCG ban list that just dropped today. So normally I don't really talk about the OCG ban list, but because a lot of people have been asking for my opinions and because I think that it does have some implications for what will happen in the TCG ban list in August, I figure it's worth giving a look. Now, before we hop in, I do have an important announcement. At 70,000 subscribers, I'm actually planning to give away a box of Pendulum Evolution, so if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe to the channel now and share the channel with your friends. Once we reach 70,000, I'll give more details about that. And then, when we reach 75,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a box of Battles of Legend Light's Revenge. So yeah, let's hop in. Alright, so for those of you who don't know about the OCG, it's basically the game that is played in a lot of the Asian territories. It's a different format from the TCG, so they have different ban lists. Their ban lists usually are released and like go legal and stuff at different times and hours. And of course they get packs and sets earlier than we do, and there's certain things that like we even get that they don't get. So there's a lot to say about that, but yeah, the big deal here is that oftentimes some of the trends that happen in their ban lists will get carried over to us. So that's kind of why I'm talking about this stuff. We have Zoodiac Broadbull. Now this is a card that a lot of people have pretty strong opinions on. A lot of people saying that in the TCG this card needs to go ahead and get banned. It's a cause of a lot of Zoodiac combos. I agree, you know, between like it and Dryden, I think that Broadbull is actually worse. It tends to lead into Dryden anyway, but it gives them searches and I don't really like that. It's too free to summon, things like that. Now something interesting actually in the OCG is that I think that if I'm correct, Zoodiac Barrage and Zoodiac Dryden are both banned there as it is, and Rat Piers at 1. So I feel like if you're an OCG player, this is basically the nail in the coffin for the Zoodiac deck. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I don't keep up that much with that format, but this seems like without access to all of those cards, Zoodiacs couldn't possibly be competitive. I mean, you know, who knows? But this is a change that I hope that we do see in the TCG, is basically Broadbull getting banned. I mean, I honestly wouldn't mind Barrage and Dryden or something also getting limited or whatever, but definitely Broadbull is something that needs to get targeted, so I completely agree with that. Now we have 3 cards that are limited: Masterpiece, Fairy Tale Snow, and Dragonic Diagram. I'll go ahead and talk about Masterpiece and Dragonic Diagram together because they're both part of the True Draco deck, the same strategy really. I don't actually have like as strong of feelings on Masterpiece as most people do, but I do know that Dragonic Diagram is just really a powerful field spell. I feel kind of bad. I hope that it doesn't get a hit in the TCG because I spent a lot of money to get a playset of them. But on the other hand, I understand game balance and I see why Dragonic Diagram is a problem. With like 3 of it and like 3 terraforming, that's just, it's so easy to see it, and it turns any card that you want in your hand or the field into a you know, into a True King card or whatever, a True Draco card usually. And you know, it interacts so well with cards like Balbaboon and all that stuff, and just like the True Draco deck can be really overwhelming, whether it's combined with Zoo or it's just kind of the Demise stun variant. Either way, it's just hyper consistent, and I see why this card would need to go to 1. And as you'll see later in this video, terraforming itself is also something that I think would need to get hit. I made a video about all this stuff, but now next, Masterpiece. Like I said, I don't have as strong opinions about Masterpiece. It's just a really good boss monster. I think that with the Diagram to 1, maybe the deck would be less consistent as it is. But I don't mind Masterpiece also going to 1. It's got a lot of attack power. It's got like a Dryden-esque effect, but a lot stronger. And then it's also unaffected by usually traps and monster effects. So it can feel like very overwhelming, especially when the opponent's able to actually get 2 of them out in the field. So having 1, I think, is totally fair. It means that like if you can out the 1, then you're pretty much in the clear. And it also means that they won't be seeing it as much. So I mean, honestly, 1 good Solemn Warning or something can be a good way to pin this deck down. And I guess I should take this time to say that really and truly, the True Draco deck, it always felt like very unfair, but I think that it helps when these kinds of super liberal hits happen. The OCG seems to be very like, they're harsh with the ban hammer, so they'll ban stuff, they'll limit stuff without like a second thought. Now the next limited card is Fairy Tale Snow, and this is one that I actually mentioned in my video last week as well. I don't really care for this card. I don't want it to get banned, so limited sounds fair to me, but it, you know, it recurs, it's free Xyz material, it's a quick effect, it can be summoned during both players' turns, it's not once per turn, it has the Book of Moon. It's a high utility card that I feel like is, or at least can feel pretty like oppressive when it wants to. I don't think it's like the problem in any particular deck, but when you look at, you know, those grass decks, those Lightsworn decks, it's kind of an annoying card. I see why it would go to 1, and this is one of those places where I hope that the TCG follows suit. Now, several cards got semi-limited, and I guess I should go ahead and say I don't know all that much about what was limited before versus what was at 3 in the OCG, so like I'm not gonna really like pretend to know all that much about it, but we'll just go through each card and kind of just talk about them, see what it's like. Pull up this list again. All right, so Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer. Now I do know that this card was at 1 in the OCG, now it's at 2, so it's kind of them, you know, sort of assimilating pendulums back into their game. I'm sure under Link format, pendulums weren't doing a whole lot, so this sounds like something that what we're doing in the TCG, where like a lot of those cards are coming back, like, you know, Skull Crobat and Pendulum Call. So good for them. I mean, hopefully Pendulum Sorcerer can end up at 3. It's a powerful card, but I don't think that it's like a broken card under these new rules. Witch of the Black Forest, I think, was limited in the OCG, so it's gone to 2 now. That's cool by me. It's a slow searcher. I think that with the speed and pace of the game and stuff, like in the high intensity, it's like taking a turn to like set Witch of the Black Forest or whatever just isn't, you know, I mean, like it's not, doesn't really matter. Skarm from the Burning Abyss. Now I don't know if this was at 1. I think it was at 1. And it's now limited again, so you know, I don't have any thoughts on Burning Abyss. It's just a boring old deck to me. Not much to say about that. Rescue Cat for them, I guess, is now at 2. Rescue Cat's at 1 for us. It hasn't done anything. I don't suspect it'll do a whole lot for them either. I mean, with that errata and stuff, maybe if new beast stuff comes out, maybe there's like a Link combo I don't know about. But for now, seems to me as if Rescue Cat, and it doesn't really change a whole lot. Burial from a Different Dimension. Now this is interesting and a change that I hope that we see reflected in the TCG, because this is a really cool card. Burial from a Different Dimension has been limited for a pretty long time. It got limited back in like, I want to say around like 2000, you know, maybe like 9 or 10 or whatever, when it was heavily abused in zombie decks to like reuse Mizuki and stuff. So the interesting thing here is that Cyframe Lord Omega has effectively replaced Burial. I mean, you know, there are decks that run both, of course, but it's cool to think that, you know, Burial from a Different Dimension could come to 2. It's not like it's a searchable card, so I don't think that it's too big a problem. And, you know, combined with maybe things like Fairy Tale Snow getting limited, maybe they feel like it all just makes sense. I don't have a problem with the card. I know that there might be some goofy combos and recycles that could happen, but I would like to see this happen in the TCG. Next is Card of Demise, which is at 2, so don't know about this. I don't know. I think Card of Demise was limited there too. This, I don't think this it has anything to do with us. I don't see this happening in the TCG, so I don't really know what to say about it. I'm not really a Card of Demise hater. I know a lot of people were, and then it just kind of fell under the radar. So if this were to get like semi-limited in the TCG, that would be very strange to me because it isn't doing a whole lot right now. So Preparation of Rites, this is interesting. I hope that this can happen for us. Preparation of Rites going to 2 would be huge. It would be a big help for Cyber Angels. It would be a big help for Necroz. You know, shout outs to Shrit. I think that, you know, honestly, let's bring Shrit back too. But yeah, Preparation of Rites isn't, I mean, like, it's obviously a very powerful card. No one's denying that. But I mean, like, you know, rituals aren't doing anything. And so if you're not gonna let the ritual decks be strong, at least give them a little more consistency. Sacrifice, I mean, I don't know. Cleaforts are kind of old. I don't have like a whole lot of opinion on that. Dark Hole, I think was limited for them before too. So Dark Hole going to 2 is whatever. It's been at 2 here. Most people would agree that Kaiju Slumber is a better card. So, but whatever. Terraforming. Now this is an interesting one because I made that one video where I was like, hey, I think Terraforming should go to like 1 or go to 2, and people were like, no, Paul, you're crazy. Shut up. That's my favorite card. And like, here we are in the OCG and it's at 2, so maybe I was right. We all know that Terraforming is really strong. Like, don't fool yourself into thinking, oh, well, the rogue decks need it. Yeah, but Terraforming is not once per turn. It's like it's a rota for field spells. And if you pay attention to how strong the field spells are right now, where, you know, every field spell searches things obnoxiously, it, you know, so like, I wouldn't mind seeing this reflected in the TCG. If Terraforming goes to 2, I, you know, can't say I'd be like highly opposed. Union Hanger, I don't think this will happen in the TCG. I don't know what this was at in the OCG. Maybe it was at 1, I believe, but now it's at 2. ABCs aren't relevant for us, at least, so I don't see this happening here. Wavering Eyes to 2. Now that's interesting because this kind of makes me think like maybe Wavering Eyes will go to 1 or 2 for us in the future, like in August. You know, with the whole like pendulums are allowed to be decent again since Link's nerfed them. I wouldn't mind saying like Wavering Eyes to 1. It's not a searchable card, so I don't think that it'll be like too big of a deal. I mean, I know that it's powerful, but like, let's face it, pendulums feel kind of dead, so anything that helps is fine by me. Dragon Ravine, whatever. And then Solemn Strike is at 2. So this is kind of an interesting thing to talk about because I always wonder if if the TCG would ever hit Strike. I think Strike is easily the best of the Solemn cards. I feel like it's better than Warning because it overlaps with most of what Warning would be negating anyway, and then for less life point cost, and it's at 3, whereas Warning is at 1. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Solemn Strike actually got limited or semi-limited in the TCG. 2 is one of those numbers with this card where I don't know how much that would really help, since a lot of decks will like run, 1 Warning, 2 Strike, sometimes 1 Warning, 3 Strike. I don't think like 2 versus 3 is a big change. I think if you ever, with a card like this, if you want to see a difference, it would need to be limited, but this could bode for the TCG, and like, maybe that'll happen for us. And then they've got some cards that are at 3. Gonna run through these pretty quick. I don't think that too many of them are important. Now, Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning is funny. I never thought I would see the day that a card that used to be banned and so highly revered would just suddenly end up at 3. And, I still don't see it making a huge dent in the format. Maybe you could tech this into something like, an Invoked deck or whatever, Invoked Chaos maybe, but Wisdom Eye Magician, we've gotten that to 3. Armageddon Knight, not a non-factor. DD Swirl Slime, I guess DDs were like an issue in the OCG for a while, and now they don't think that they are. Goyo Guardian. Ignister Prominence, kind of a big deal. Makes me wonder if we'll get Ignister to 2 or 3 on our list in August. Ignister is a very powerful synchro. Honestly, in my book, one of the top 3, top 5, like just best synchros ever. The non-targeting, removal effect and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, with Pendulums being weakened and with Luster Pendulum still at 1, I don't think that this card would be too abusable, so maybe that could happen. Brionnic at 3, whatever, it's not really used that much. And Brain Control, that errata makes the card just kind of trash. So, that's the list. That is the OCG ban list. It got revealed today. I'll have a link in the description where you can read all that stuff for yourself. What do you guys think? I think that this is a cool ban list. I've always kind of admired how the OCG is much more like liberal with their ban list. Like, they'll, if something's a problem, it'll get banned. Like I said, I mean, Zoodiacs have been nailed to the ground in ban lists there, and that's always been a trend there. So, but they're also more like liberal, I guess, about like releasing cards from the ban list. So, they've got Stratos, and like they'll unban stuff wildly. BLS at 3. So, yeah, it's crazy. I think that some interesting things kind of foreshadow maybe our TCG list in August. The whole pendulum stuff coming back, the whole Dragonic Diagram Masterpiece thing, the Broadbull ban, things like that. So let me know what you guys think of this ban list. Do you think that a lot of these changes will be reflected in our game? Do you think that some of those crucial cards, terraforming and stuff like that, do you think that we might see that? And maybe I wasn't entirely crazy? Yeah, so that's it for this video. Remember, like I said at the beginning, I am going to be doing a giveaway at 70,000 subscribers. We're going to do a Pendulum Evolution box giveaway. And at 75,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing a Battles of Legend Light's Revenge box giveaway, both powered by TCG Player. So subscribe, make sure you don't miss those. Check out yesterday's video. Subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. That's going to be it. I'll catch you guys later. Hey, Alex.
Good job.
God, that was the most exhaustive.
Yeah, you went in.
I'm not used to doing those vids where I'm alone and I don't take breaks between each thing I talk about.